Okay. It's Thursday, February 5th, 2026. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is GeekNights. Tonight we are talking about our morning routines. So, we're talking about elevator stuff between voting and work.
You get stuck in an elevator also?
No, but there was an elevator at work, one of the buildings, that there was a sign before this elevator bank. Like, you have to walk down a hall to get to this elevator bank. And there's a sign that's small that says, like, something, the pantry is not open down there. And I don't care because I'm going that way to do something else. So I walk past the sign, and then there's a maintenance guy who's like, oh, no, you don't want to go back there. So I'm like, what's up? And he's like, water in the elevator.
Oh, water in the ceiling. Water
was in the ceiling, and by extension, the elevator, and like the ceiling and the entire like third sub-basement collapsed, and that's where like one of the rooms
someone
I wanted
asked
to go to was.
Someone asked on the local Reddit recently, like, hey, what are some things you wish you would have asked before you signed a lease? And I'm like, not to me, but I'm like, you got to ask about water in places water shouldn't be.
Yep. Floor, ceiling, walls, 3 places.
Any place water is that it shouldn't be.
Though I got to say, because our apartment, we've had water in the ceiling like 9 times, and we've water in the floor like 3 times. We had water in the wall once. That said, even if I knew in advance that all of those instances would have happened, this apartment has still been fantastic because of how cheap it is compared to an equivalently sized apartment in an equivalently sized neighborhood. When we looked at other apartments, not only were they worse, but basically we're being paid like $4,000 a month to occasionally deal with water in places water shouldn't be. I am more than happy to take that deal compared to the rent I would have to pay to live in one of these other buildings. And I'm not even confident that those other buildings do not have equivalent amounts of water in places it should not be.
You always got to check to make sure water isn't somewhere it shouldn't be.
Yep. I just think
there's a lot of water on Earth, and basically the main reason animals even need shelter is sometimes you got to avoid water.
Yep. Got to seek water out too.
If water gets in the shelter, that's like the shelter failing at one of its primary functions.
Yep. You don't want water to escape the toilet. Water goes into the toilet, should not come back out of the toilet.
Yep. Yeah, we need water to live, so we need water to come in through the wall of the shelter in a controlled fashion so that it can enter our bodies and be used in a very controlled way for purposes. But it should never go anywhere it's not supposed to be. And it shouldn't get into the shelter on its own, only when we bring it in on purpose.
So, anyway, on this fine Thursday, you got any news?
Yeah, so, double news. Everybody knows what's going on with the RAM situation, right? So basically what's happening is people are buying lots of RAM. Companies are buying it to do their LLMs. They need more RAM in their data centers. So the data centers keep buying all the RAM. And so therefore, the supply of RAM cannot really go up anymore. And there's no RAM left for normal people, right? So the price of RAM is through the roof, right? Because the demand is up and the supply is the same. It's really, really basic. And it gets to another level. I don't know if we talked about like the crucial, like no longer selling RAM to normal people.
I don't know if we did, but basically it's a thing that's happened in other industries before too, where if institutional buyers like companies are buying enough of something, it gets to a point to where even bothering to sell to anyone who isn't a big company just isn't worth your time at all.
Right. Imagine you sell a keyboard. So I'm looking at my desk. There's a keyboard, right? It's like everyone on Earth kind of wants keyboards, right? Everywhere. But what if there was some company that just had so many typists, right? that they ordered like millions of fucking keyboards.
Like,
right?
every month they're ordering millions.
Right. It's like they just have so many typists at their company. They just can't get enough keyboards. They have people who they need to be typing and they don't have a keyboard. And so they're putting in huge orders for keyboards constantly.
Yep. And you open your keyboard shop, they buy all your inventory every month. They buy it all. You're sold out constantly.
They just buy them from the factory, right?
Yep.
Because they end up I don't know, they could either buy the keyboard factory itself or make a contract with the keyboard factory to basically like pre-buy everything. And if you're the keyboard factory, you're like, well, it's really easy to just package all of these up and give them to the one person who's buying them.
Yeah.
That's a lot more efficient for us. And
one big box instead of 10,000 tiny boxes.
Right. It's like selling to consumers is really inefficient. Like you have to get this whole distribution network.
Selling to consumers sucks.
And you have to sell all kinds of different varied products with different megato, this version, that version, and price points and countries, and ship them to different places and warehousing. If you're selling them all to one place, your margins are so much better. Your life is so much easier. You can still jack up the price on them because the supply and demand globally is still the same, so you can still demand the high price. It's just great for you. And so that's what's happened with memory, is there's only a few places that make memory, RAM chips, and big data centers and people who make data centers and big tech companies are buying all the RAM. And so the RAM people are like, well, why should we sell RAM to, Joe Blow PC enthusiast over there, right? The price, they're not selling it, the supply's down, and the price is up. And so this goes even beyond to where there's other companies that need RAM for like not a data center. Right? For example, Steam just wants to sell computers to people, but it's like they got to put RAM in those computers. And it's like, how many Steam machines and Steam decks are they making compared to how many RAM chips a data center is putting in? Like, have you seen the number of RAM chips that go into like a 2U server? It's like a lot.
I mean, I got 128
if you fill it up, which
in my workstation across 4 little sticks. So up that by an order of magnitude.
Yeah, so those data centers, they're filling every RAM slot in all of those computers, right? Anyway, and so, of course, as people suspected, the Steam machine, which has not had a confirmed launch date and has not had a confirmed price, it's probably going to come out later than anticipated and for more money than anticipated.
They have also very annoyingly delayed the Steam controller and the Steam frame, which we really need for a project we're working on.
No, I don't care about that. But it's like, this relates to another story, right? Only somewhat RAM related, but, NVIDIA usually comes out with new GPUs every year. And my plan since several years ago was like, well, I got a 1070 and my computer is basically done. It's like 9 years old now, 8 years old. It's old. It's basically the oldest computer that can possibly run Windows 11. And they don't give driver updates for the 1070 anymore. And there are games that are coming out. Their 1070 doesn't run those games. And I have 4K monitors. So it's like, it's time to get to the new PC. But the RAM prices are out of control. And the GPU prices are still out of control. And NVIDIA is like, you know what? We're similarly to the RAM. It's like we're just selling every GPU we've got. Let's just keep selling the 50 series. We don't need to do the 60 series this year, and we won't. We'll do it maybe next year.
AI bullshit and crypto bullshit. The same crap that's been ruining the world.
But I was going to buy a 60 series, potentially, maybe, right? But looks like now, I probably won't. It's ironically, I'll probably end up getting the Steam machine which got delayed and had its price jacked up. Because that's the better option in this crazy scenario.
And this wasn't like any forethought or knowledge or skill on my part. The cycle of workstation upgrades I happened to go through. The computer I'm using now, I ended up buying at like the lowest possible price point. I got like the max out i9 processor, a 4080, and 128 gigabytes of super fast RAM. Really cheap. And now, you can't get anything. The 4080 was like the best price plateau for a video card since the 1080.
Yeah. Oh, my PC is basically exactly 8 years old. I bought it on February of 2018. So, that's the longest I've had a PC without upgrading.
So, as the listener pointed out, which is also something I've been seeing in finance circles, there's a lot of chatter that NVIDIA, this is a step toward, they are just going to stop being a consumer company entirely.
Could be.
Because their stock is, I'm not giving stock advice. This is not investment advice. I'm not a registered investment advisor. NVIDIA basically is entirely beholden to the bullshit AI industry right now, which is obviously a bubble.
Well, because their growth came from there, right?
Yep, and capitalism only rewards growth.
Right, and the AAA game industry is it's not growing, it's shrinking, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually, there's less demand for, gamer
and think
uses.
Gamers, we want new computers, but we can't build new computers because we can't get any fucking RAM, and now we also can't get any fucking video cards.
But also there's less games that are going to be asking for that, right?
Yep.
Because people aren't making the AAA games anymore, which is why I think another reason the Steam machine might be a better idea.
Yeah, if it even comes out at this point.
Yeah, but this is just, we keep saying this all the time. It's a consequence of the income or wealth inequalities, right? Is that when you have a society where people have lots of different amounts of money, poor people, rich people, middle rich people, almost poor people, right? Then companies that make products and services have good reasons to try to serve all those different people, right? It's like, well, everyone needs food, right? So we'll make fancy caviar and we'll make fucking fast McDonald's and we'll make all different kinds of foods in between.
But if there's a big divide, you just sell fancy caviar wrapped in tasteless gold for 10 times what you would have charged to a small number of rich people and just fuck everybody else.
Yeah,
if
everyone is if everyone in the society, if every consumer is either massively wealthy or dirt poor, then the only products that you make as a company, you can't make a normal product at a reasonable price, because why would a rich person buy that? It's not as good as luxury shit. And why would a poor person buy it? They won't. They can't afford it. And so when there's only those two kinds of people, companies basically have to only make either expensive luxury goods, like, or garbage, right? That's the cheapest possible cheap stuff that someone who's poor can actually afford in massive quantities. And so that's what you're seeing is companies. We saw we just saw announcements recently, mass market trade paperbacks, right? The book publishers are just going to stop making those. Mm-hmm. And orange juice from concentrate that's in a little can, they're going to stop making that. All right, that's not going to be a thing anymore. There's a lot of products that are becoming not a thing anymore. And this is part of the reason why. And it could be that eventually a gaming PC that you build yourself is not a thing anymore, or is basically only a rich people thing, right? Sort of like how, if you think about it, you look at cars, right? And it's like, for a long time, basically almost the entire existence of cars, there's been Ferraris and Lamborghinis that normal people cannot buy.
Yep.
And then normal people buy, Toyota Camry, whatever, normal car.
The bottom of the car market started disappearing.
Right, yeah, that's true. But the point I'm saying is that for computers, right, for a long time, computer-wise, the Ferraris of computers were not as unattainable as actual Ferraris, right? A nerd who was just an enthusiast who saved their money could buy a Ferrari of computer, even though there was no way they could afford a Ferrari of car ever, right? Because that's 6 figures plus, maybe even more, right? But a normal person who is a nerdy person who needed a powerful computer for gaming or whatever have you, could buy an i9 and a 5090 would fill it with RAM if they saved up for it.
My current workstation, which is basically a supercharged Ferrari, this workstation is fucking insane to the level of I was in VR and I was OBS recording at high quality, multiple camera angles in VR, and I accidentally left Overwatch running during all of that and didn't even notice. Right. I spent about $4,000 to build that computer, and I just spec'd out what it would take.
It's not cheap, but it's something that a normal person who's not mega rich could get.
I just saw Newegg poked briefly. It would cost more than $10,000 to build an equivalent computer right now.
Right. We're going to see is that the highest end computers, the kind that, we've been used to, enthusiasts who really cared, were used to being able to get if they were willing to save and spend for it, are going to be in the Ferrari territory, where only crazy rich people can get a 5080, 5090 ultra, and we're going to have to settle for Toyota Camry of computers, MacBook, whatever, or, Steam machine, in the near term, not necessarily bad computer, but not, we're used to driving Ferrari of computer because we're nerds.
Yep, but
we might
this
not
is
be
going to
able to
have
get those anymore.
increasing widespread implications. Phones are going to get more, pretty much everything is going to get more expensive. RAM alone is, I mean, think about we play the trading game, Off-World Trading Company, chips. When chip prices go up, everything starts to fall apart like real fast. Chips are dangerous. Chips are really important to society. But in a tiny piece of good news along these lines, the thing that was ruining computer prices other than just raw capitalism before this AI crap was cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. And the dam has actually started to burst. Bitcoin is like collapsing in free fall. And
it's still worth a fortune, though. Like, what's one Bitcoin? It's still like tens of thousands of dollars.
60 grand?
Yeah, it's a lot.
But a high percentage of all the Bitcoins that are in like circulation out there today were bought for significantly more than $60,000. So a lot of evil people are about to lose their entire fortune. And this brings me joy. Because if cryptocurrency, the problem is cryptocurrency is no longer driving all this compute demand because the AI bubble is like an order of magnitude bigger in terms of a financial catastrophe that's about to happen. But this is one of the bellwethers of all those bubbles might pop simultaneously relatively soon is my gut feeling as a just layperson. Like, we'll see how this all goes. But my final news, it's rare that I would just link to a story I read on Fark, but this one was, this is why I still read Fark. This happened in Chelsea, Michigan. So this is the kind of news that like a radio DJ would say in the morning back before that all got turned into AI slop. This woman, and there's photos of her, went to a Goodwill and she dropped off a whole bunch of clothes like you do. And that was fine. And then later, when the store was sorting the clothes, they discovered that in the middle, nested in all these clothes, was a human skull.
Why is this news and not a thing of the day?
So this is news. So now they are trying to figure out who is this woman and what is this skull and what the fuck happened. So if any of you know this woman in these photos and have a suspicion about where your skull went, do I have good news for you? All I'm saying is I pay for Fark for a reason. But anyway, things of the day. What do you got?
Yeah. So there's a lot of people going around, hacking their Kindles to, which is actually pretty easy to do, and you should do it, even though I haven't done it yet.
I mean, my Kindle, when did I buy that Paperwhite? It still works. Like, it's fine.
Mine still works. The battery's a little but it still works. I don't feel need to replace it.
Battery lasts a full day of reading still with the backlight on.
Yeah, I've never had the battery run out while I'm using it, even though the percentage gets low sometimes. So I'm not concerned yet. Though I might be convinced to buy that newer color one, like if they release a new one, because then you could read mangas that have color in them, I
bought this Kindle in 2014.
Yeah, when did I buy mine? I don't remember. But anyway, there's another thing you can do if you have a Kindle or e-reader, any e-ink device really that has a rectangular screen. And that's this website, ReKindle.ink. And what it is you visit this website in your browser on your e-ink device. You don't need to jailbreak or hack or do anything. And basically, they've made a bunch of web apps that are, progressive web apps that are all black and white, and the user interface of them is designed for a Kindle-like e-ink device. So you want to get on Discord using your Kindle, or do some RSS reading with your Kindle, or, to-do list on the Kindle, or whatever it is. You just go to this website for free and do that. You can sign up, and I think if you pay, you get some even extra stuff like Gmail or whatever. But it's basically, if you got an e-ink device and you go to this website, it effectively could almost be your smartphone as long as you have Wi-Fi, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't get notifications, maybe. not necessarily, and you probably wouldn't. You can't make phone calls, I guess. Maybe I don't know if the Discord one, because that could be how you gonna do a voice. It doesn't have audio, right?
Yeah.
Kindles don't have headphones. Maybe some of them do. Mine doesn't.
I think that there's like some of them would also read audiobooks to you. I want to say mine can't.
Mine, I don't think. If mine can do that, I don't know how.
Yeah, if mine can do that,
I've never heard it make a
shocked.
noise ever. But it's basically, it's a bunch of stuff that you could have done all this stuff just in the web browser, right? But it wouldn't go great because none of the websites that you go to were designed for someone with a monochrome e-ink display.
Yeah.
So it's basically a redesigning of all of these things you would normally do for that, interface in a very functional way. And it's pretty nice if, you need that.
So my thing of the day, it's a short black box theater performance. It's only 5 minutes long, and it's the kind of thing where people who have encountered this will fully understand what is going on here, and people who have no idea why this is funny, all I have to say is, may one day your aunt leave in her will to you her terrible cockatoo. Because, cockatoos are extremely intelligent parrots, and a lot of people have birds and then die of old age. So then someone has to take care of this bird. But the problem is a lot of people, when they have a very intelligent bird, the bird is bored and gets weird and sometimes kind of psychotic because they don't interact with it enough or they don't have bird friends. So a lot of people end up inheriting kind of insane, extremely volatile 40 to 50-year-old parrots from parents and aunts and relatives. And this is exactly what it's like, this performance. In the meta moment, I'm going to pick the new GeekNights Book Club book probably as soon as I get back from Frankfurt, which I'm going to next week. So no GeekNights next week, but you saw I've got 2 of our recent panels up on YouTube. I'm going to try to get a 3rd one up to drop next week while I'm gone, and then GeekNights will resume the following week. We'll be at PAX East with a new panel about rage quitting and quitting games 13+, so we can say the word fuck on Thursday.
They announced that the theme of PAX this year is going to be like amusement park style, but it seems like it's going to be more retro amusement park aesthetic, sort of like old Disneyland, a little bit of a, what do they call it? The I forget the name.
I saw the PAX Land thing. I didn't read the whole email yet. Yeah, so we'll be there.
Like the mid-century modern kind of Disneyland style. That's what it's called.
As we announced last time, we'll tell you all here, we haven't made a post about it yet. If you go to PAX East, details TBD, we are going to run at least one
unofficially and illicitly.
Yep,
and with no association of actual completely unauthorized
PAX tours. So
they might stop us. I don't think so.
I don't think they would stop us.
We're not doing anything dangerous or against the rules.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to punch or kick anyone. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to touch something that isn't mine.
We're not charging money for it, right?
Yeah.
We're not claiming to be official, or we're not wearing enforcer things while we do it. So,
but if you're interested in any way participating in this, we'll start posting some more details as PAX East approaches, because our panel's on Thursday. It's a 4-day con, inexplicably. I feel like PAX East really has to just go back to 3 days.
I think they would, but they're stuck in their 4-day contract for now.
Yep.
That's my guess. I don't know that for sure, but that is my
so the 2 things I was thinking
is that East and West would go back to 3 days, but are stuck in a contract for 4 days.
PAX East, more so than the other PAXs, and the exact opposite of MagFest. PAX East is basically outside of tabletop and main theater, fucking dead after 6 p.m. Empties out, creepily empties out.
It didn't used to be that way.
So I'm thinking, if we do 2 tours, the one I want to do is I want to do the late night tour, 10 o'clock. We're going to walk around this abandoned convention. I just feel like it'll be a different vibe, and I might do it differently.
Yeah, we could do a late night tour, but it'd be hard to get people to come to it, right?
Exactly, but it'll
be about in the main lobby,
Well, I'm curious the kind of person who would encounter Rim standing there with a sign I'm going to give a tour of this abandoned convention late at night, who will follow me around on purpose. And if no one does,
if anyone at all helps us out with this, right? The first thing we need help with would be someone to hold a camera. But if we have someone to do that, the thing that we would add next, if you're going to expand the idea, right? I think this might be a better idea for second year, assuming we even succeed, would be to, like not quite night market, but like we set up things of our own to encounter. We set up encounters that are our own encounters.
Ooh, like a skit playing out, like an amusement park almost. Like the Disney
like
characters are doing a thing, and you walk by, and like those
like
two
we're,
nerds,
like we're on it, like we're on the
table.
tour, and then there's like a shady, as a shady thing going on that we've set up. That is,
Hey kid, you want to buy a Pokemon card?
Right.
We'll see.
Almost like if you were going on if I was giving someone a tour through a haunted house and I also had someone on my payroll who was a ghost.
Yep.
That kind of thing, right? That situation.
You know what this is? We're getting bored at the PAX East. That's too long.
Exactly. Yes,
and
that's correct.
When we used to get bored at conventions, we'd get weird. Like there's a PAX South where we spent like 3 hours walking around interviewing statues that I cut together into a video.
Yeah,
I feel like we're going to start doing stuff like that again.
Yeah, we got to, if they're not going to officially, make PAX East MagFest, we had to make everything, to make life MagFest.
Yep. So yeah, we're going to bring a little bit of that MagFest spirit back into PAX. And yeah, let's just get right into it because I'm really hungry. So I was thinking about this. One, we needed a Crab People episode for a Thursday, so whatever. But two, I was thinking about this idea, talking about our morning routines. Some people have a morning routine, some people don't. But
who doesn't? How do you not have one?
I have definitely known people where every morning is just different, like radically different.
We got to talk about this, right? So the concept of a morning routine, right? You're a human being.
Yep.
Whatever your lifestyle, whatever your lot in life, wherever you live, right? You sleep. Hopefully, you don't have some condition that prevents you from sleeping. And even if you do, you hopefully like lay in bed at night or day if you work at night. There's a period of the day where you lay in bed for an extended period.
Even if you're a vampire, you still got this. It's just inverted.
Right. There's a period of each 24-hour period. Hopefully you basically you're not awake. You're not operating. You're not doing stuff. And when that period ends, you will then arise and return to the functioning world, right? You're going to do your things that you need to do in your life. But time has passed and the world was moving while you were sleeping. And so you now and your body biologically did things while you were sleeping. And so there's things that you need to do no matter what before you can now go about your business, right? You need to probably pee. You probably need to eat food. Maybe you need to put clothing on. Maybe you need to make your bed if that's a thing that some people do, right? Some hygienic activities, right? There's going to be things that you have to do no matter what. And if you don't do them, and you just go about your business immediately, that's a problem.
But there were a couple of periods in my life. One was when I graduated high school, but before I went to college, like that specific summer, and the time I lived in Wildwood for a month instead of like doing normal things in my life, where my morning routine was random. I woke up at like a completely different time every day. I did the things I would do in like a random order in the morning. Like my life was just unhinged. Like one morning I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. and go out and see the sunrise and then come back in and like eat breakfast and brush my teeth and then do my stuff. And then the next day I'd sleep in till like 3 p.m. But those were two very rare periods. My life is actually since elementary school, I've actually had like a surprisingly tightly choreographed morning. That's just how my life has been. Like really tightly choreographed to the minute in some cases.
You got a timer you're looking at?
Yeah, so I want to walk you through my morning routine in 7th grade. Because it was for a bunch of reasons. I'm not getting into why. This is just how it was. So Monday through Friday most of the time, but there are exceptions. Tuesdays and Thursdays were exceptions occasionally. I would wake up. My alarm was set for 6:20 in the morning in 7th grade because I had to be at school at 7:30 because that is when school started at my middle school. So I woke up at 6:20 because that was the right amount of time to get ready to then be driven to school to get there at or before 7:30. If I woke up later than 6:20, I'd have to cut something like not take a full shower like I like to, or maybe skip breakfast, or just skip some things that I would normally prepare, or it'd be a rush morning. And waking up earlier than that was insane to me because I was always tired. I wanted the maximum possible sleep. So I decided 6:20 was the exact perfect time to wake up. And my mornings were so tightly choreographed to be at the door the second my dad was ready to drive me to school. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, on alternating weeks, I had jazz band. Jazz band happened before first period in the middle school. So I had to wake up at 5:20 in the morning to be able to get to the school by 6:30 when jazz band started. So that kind of set a pattern of very scripted mornings because I had a very specific time I had to get out the door that was earlier than humans normally like to wake up. And my entire life after that has been like that. So I'm still like that. I set my alarms for time. Even today, my current routine, my alarm goes off every morning, Monday through Friday at 6:50, because that is the exact time that gives me the optimal path to get to work at the right time.
You're crazy with the timing.
Well, because think, when we lived in Beacon, I had to catch the 5:24 Metro North train to get to work at 7 when I had to do the thing at work. That's when my work shift started. If I missed that train, I was way late to work, and it was a problem. And if I had taken an earlier train, I'm giving up precious sleep. So I always woke up at 5. I woke up at 4:45 so I could catch the 5:24 train. Missing the 5:24 train was not an option. You'll notice we don't live in Beacon anymore because fuck that.
You're really hung up about it. I've never been in a situation where I had to be at work super. And usually I'd be at work before other people, even though I took my sweet ass time.
So
or whatever.
at that time, the job
I would go to the Beacon train station and I'd be like, any of the trains in this range are fine. It's,
So my because of the job I had back then, I ran operations for a sell-side broker-dealer. My job was be in the office by 7 a.m. no matter what, because at 7:15 I would formally take the handover of European operations.
What if you weren't there at 7:15? What happened? The world exploded? No one
There
gives
was
shit.
nobody to take the handover of operations, and the person who was on the hook for that in our London office was not allowed to go home.
What about you? Were you not allowed to go home when someone else didn't show up?
No, because we didn't have a second shift. After so because I showed up at 7, I worked banker's hours. So the other side effect with that was at exactly 4 p.m. no matter what, I'm done. There's no third trading period. So at 4 o'clock, I just fucking walked out of the office instantly, no matter what. And because I was taking Metro North, if I walked quickly enough, I could catch the 4:09 train home, which was the fastest train to get back to Beacon.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, my morning routine is not so strictly timed, right?
It's not so strictly timed nowadays, but it was then.
It's never been strictly timed, even in the school days where I had to get on a bus, right? It's I had certain activities that I got to do, usually shower, right? Not 100%, but a very high percentage of the time.
I like to shower every morning.
When I'm not leaving the house, a shower is especially less necessary, right?
And to a point.
Yeah, to a point, obviously, right? Am I going to put on clothing? Well, if I leave the house, yes. But if I'm not leaving the house, maybe. Right? Am I going to eat
I'm not wearing
food?
pants right now.
Right. The amount of breakfast I eat and depends on what food's in the house, what time of year it is. There's so many
I've
factors.
skipped breakfast for almost my entire life.
Okay. My breakfast has ranged from nothing to just one banana to, full on breakfast, right? Like you would get at a diner or some delivered brunch situation.
Yeah.
Right? And then what else do I got to do in the morning? There might be some, medicines you might have to take, or
if you're young, that's coming for you.
You got to relieve yourself, or maybe there's some people in the house you might have to take care of to some extent going on.
Well, that's sort
it's
of a
always,
difference because that
if you're gonna leave the house to go to a work or a school, you have to spend some time getting your shit together that you have to take with you, being like, I need this today, I need this today, I don't need this today, right? You don't want to carry extra shit. And some days you might be having a special thing when you leave outside, so you need to bring something extra, like I need the extra camera today, or I need this extra book today, stuff like that. And I guess the other thing is really just how, if you're, how much internet are you going to read before you leave the house?
So that gets into like that whole choreograph thing. Like, it's not like that now. Like, I don't have nearly so tightly a choreographed morning, partly because I don't have that kind of job anymore. But two, the periods where I had the like strict choreography for the morning only, it was the reason for that was very simple. I was always tired because I always stayed up late and I wanted to enjoy myself. So as a result, I was trying to maximize how much sleep and thus wake up as late as possible to still reliably do the things I needed to do, because that would get me an extra 15 minutes of sleep. And nowadays I don't have to do that so much. So now I get up, like my current routine. I wake up at 6:50 on a work day, and I don't look at the internet right away. That's something I stopped doing studiously. I made the decision to not look at the internet first. When I get up, and usually I either make myself some coffee or drink a Red Bull, whichever I'm feeling, and I go hang out with the rabbit in the living room for like 5 minutes. And then I get him his breakfast together. Like, I sit there with the rabbit, I get him his breakfast. A lot of mornings I sit there sipping a coffee while I'm like arranging his stuff. And then I shower, and I shave. I like shaving. Even if I don't super need to shave, I always shave in the morning. It's like a ritual I enjoy doing. Keep that baby, though I didn't shave this morning because I was running late to a thing. And then I go to work. And I go into the cafeteria at work and I get the free yogurt and I eat a nice yogurt, maybe some pineapple. I get a second coffee and then I meander to my desk and I sit down. And at that time, I read the news, I lightly read the internet, and I read my emails. That's my current weekday morning routine.
See, I wake up and I have the iPad already there.
I don't keep the iPad in the bedroom.
That's the only purpose of if I didn't have it in the bedroom, I wouldn't need an iPad, period.
I use the iPad the iPad is only for when I'm on the go.
The iPad's only purpose is to be the bedroom computer. Because you don't have a TV
I don't compute in the bedroom
have...
anymore. If I'm in the bedroom, the only computing I do is occasionally I'll lay in bed playing the Switch. But usually I play the Switch on the TV. And the phone in bed is only for Duolingo or checking my schedule for the next day. I'm not doing internet shit in the bedroom anymore.
Well, I wake up and I have all the apps on the homepage of the iPad and I go through them one by one and I check all the things that need to be checked. And it doesn't actually take very long at all because I read fast and I've unsubscribed from so many things.
Oh, yeah.
I just make sure that everything is cleared, right? It's like, I know nothing happened while I was asleep that might alter. This is the reason I do it first. You might think that that's like a bad thing. Rim's trying to avoid it, but information that is there has the potential to alter the course of the morning or the day, right? It's like so information
I
is
do
the
glance
thing
at
I
my
need
phone
first.
Because all the things that could impact my day would be a push notification. The way
I don't have
set
like
up.
News notifications.
I do because if there is a news flash on Fark, which is rare because the Fark is a highly curated space, that anything that is in the regular news that wouldn't be an email or like a voicemail to me that I should know about because it's going to fuck up my day, Fark will have told me.
There are also, sometimes international events, sometimes real-time events. For example, right now, there is Olympics, right? So today was not a normal day. Why was today not a normal day? Because there was an ice hockey game at 6 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
And so when I woke up, it was already the third period. And so there already, right, a completely different morning goes on than a normal morning, right? Because it is once every 4 years, I can watch ice hockey.
I think that the main difference
as soon as I'm awake.
I do have to go into an office in Manhattan 4 days a week and you just work from home.
Even when I did, right? So, for example, when I did work from home and I would wake up and there would be a similar event like 6 a.m. ice hockey, it would still throw off my whole morning because I'd wake up and I'd put on 6 a.m. ice hockey.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe I'd forget, oh shit, the time's gone by, and I'd leave the house a little late, or I'd had to like switch it over from the the computer to the phone and watch it while I walked to the sub. It totally, those kinds of any kind of information or thing that is happening could potentially as to alter the strategy. If I wake up and I don't check and I just go eat breakfast, like I could be going down the wrong road and then I find something out and I'm like, oh shit, but it's too late. And now, or it's, anyway, reacting.
I guess I spend my morning,
delay.
I spend my morning, unless Fark has had a news flash or like I see like someone tried to call you a lot of times, then I assume everything's fine. And
if someone tries to call me a lot, my phone has a special mode. Well, it's not a special mode. You can configure this on your phone if you knew to do it, I guess. Like, I think a lot of people don't know to do this, and I don't know. I'm sure Android has the equivalent, but I just don't know what it is. But what you do is you go to your contacts and you say, these people can contact me. These are my special people. If any of them call me, even when it's do not disturb, even when I'm asleep, ring the phone anyway. Mm-hmm. And you also have another setting that says, if anyone calls me while I'm do not disturb or while I'm asleep and they keep fucking calling, like they just don't stop calling, then eventually ring the phone even though you normally wouldn't. And then, of course, if they leave a voicemail, it'll make a notification and it'll transcript it to text and you can see. So even though I put the phone into sleep mode when I go to sleep, or it automatically goes to sleep mode most of the time, if something happens like that, I'm not going to find out when I wake up. I'm going to find out when it happens.
I guess I just, my filters and my glances will tell me if there's anything I should care about. And I always spend my mornings gently and slowly just immersing myself in the physical world and the space that I'm in. Like unless it's winter, I almost always step out on the balcony and sip my coffee for 5 minutes, just looking out at nothing and seeing if the kestrel is doing something.
I mean, if it's cold, I definitely don't go outside.
I mean, I often step out on the balcony even if it's cold, but I also open the windows and air the apartment periodically.
We're not opening anything if it's cold. It's sealed shut.
I like doing the morning step out, and when I'm somewhere not the apartment, like staying at a beach house or something like that.
Oh, that's totally different. Yeah, right? Like if I'm at a beach house
or a ski resort, like I like to step out on the balcony at a ski resort in the morning.
No, that's too cold. But like if I'm at a beach house, yeah, I don't wake up and check any internet. I wake up and go to the beach as quickly as humanly possible.
That is a big disconnect between us and honestly most of our close friends. When I'm at a beach house, just like if I'm at a ski lodge,
it's like wake up, sunscreen.
Yep. If I'm at a ski lodge, my primary mission is to ski, not to have drinks, not to do a breakfast buffet. I'm there to ski. Anything else I do is secondary. So if I'm at a beach house, the primary thing is be on the beach as long as I can until the sand fleas come out.
That's right.
So yeah, beach week, I try to wake up around 5, like 5:30 when the sun comes up and just go straight to the beach. And many times it's been me alone or just me and Scott.
Yeah, it's like if I'm at, that's other touristy things too, right? If I'm at any kind of tourism destination, on vacation.
Yeah, like if you're at Disney World or Cedar Point, you should be walking into the park the moment the park opens.
Or just visiting another city that's not the one you live in for a touristy reason. It's like, get out of at a convention, wake up and get out of the hotel room as quickly as possible so you can get down to business.
Yep. Yeah. So in terms of like morning specifics, I mostly skip breakfast. My whole life I've skipped breakfast, mostly because I've often...
Breakfast is delicious, so I eat it.
Yeah. Well, usually most of my life I was in a hurry because I'd always wake up later than I otherwise would to maximize sleep. So I'd usually skip breakfast and eat a giant lunch like early instead, like around 11, which I still do. My body, I usually eat a light to zero breakfast, and then around 11 a.m. I eat a gigantic lunch. Like if I go to Tacos Numero Uno, I'm getting like 3 or 4 tacos.
three's the normal number usually. 2 or 3.
Well, plus chips and guac, like always.
What? It's just such a ripoff to buy chips and guac.
But I want the chips and guac. I don't care
could
about the
just
money.
go to. I could just buy chips and buy guac at the grocery store.
Yeah, I could, but I don't have chips and guac with me for that lunch at that particular moment. I'm not going to go to a grocery store.
I don't do that. No.
Or I actually sometimes, not often, but sometimes for lunch I'll go out to a sit-down restaurant and just order like a full-on meal for my lunch.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
But let's see. The order of things I do, other than like the bunny step out time, I usually have my shower. I brush my teeth after the shower. I do shower almost every morning because I wash my hair and shave based on that shower. But I also take a shower every evening, but I don't wash my hair or my face. I just wash the body to get all the sweat off because I've usually worked out.
Like washing your face is more important. Because that's, you don't.
I mean, I'll wash my face, but I'm not getting my hair wet at night because I'm going to go to bed.
I don't have hair, so that's not a problem.
I wash the body before I get into my bed.
If I shower in the morning, it's usually because I biked in the morning, and I'm not going to not shower immediately after biking, though, right? It's like I literally just biked. It's time to shower right now. But also I'll shower if I'm doing shaving. I'll probably do that in the evening because got to shave like my whole freaking head and do all this stuff. And so doing that in the morning is too time consuming, right?
Yeah, I'm just shaving the bit under my beard. Once I bearded, that really set my routine for the facial stuff.
So because it takes more time. That's usually an evening shave shower, right?
I brush my teeth after I shower. Like, for whatever reason, that's the order I do my morning. Brush teeth after shower, like, reliably.
I guess all that's important is you brush your teeth
at some point
after you eat breakfast, in case it will make the breakfast taste bad.
Nah. See, I skip the breakfast. Or if I eat the breakfast, I do it after I've, like, done all my stuff. If I brush my teeth and I eat a breakfast, it's because I eat that breakfast, like, an hour or two after I brush my teeth.
Yeah, so but the thing is, the breakfast, right? It could vary, right? It's like sometimes, like I made a banana bread, so breakfast has been like banana bread all week. But it could also be cream of wheat. It could be just shredded wheat. It could be, we might have bagel, right? If we buy bagels, we also buy a sack of bagels, right? It's like, it's like whenever the order for the bagel place is like 2 breakfast sandwich and big bag of bagels, which means we're eating bagels now. And then sometimes the bagels run out and we have English muffin. And then, and then if it's like we're looking around and there's really no breakfast, we get some, the barbecued pork buns from the freezer.
Well, it's funny. So in our household, our evening routines are synced up, but because I pretty much always am getting up earlier just because of the nature of my work, or like doing like early morning workouts on weekends, I have an independent morning routine from Emily most days. Like I'll get up, do my routine. She'll do a separate routine, even if then we converge to go out to brunch.
Yeah, once I've eaten breakfast and possibly maybe biked, maybe showered, maybe, seen everything there is to see, know what's going on in the world, then I just go sit at my desk and I start doing my job.
What I used to do a long time ago, I don't do it anymore, is work out in the morning. But now, actually, my evening life, pretty much since COVID wound down, my evening life has been very busy to the point that I don't often have enough time to work out as much as I'd like to, because I'd like to run a 5 or 10K every day and then do some bigger workout at least one day of the weekend. But often, like, I come home, do a GeekNights, eat dinner, then it's late. I don't want to work out late right after I ate dinner. So I'm thinking about shifting up my schedule and working out in the morning again, which I haven't done in a long time.
I'm definitely not going to bike for exercise, right, in the evening, like after work. Because like I finished work, it's like now is the time that I can do stuff, right? It's like, now I can do dinner and now I can do podcasting or some other project or whatever it is, right? It's like doing a routine thing in that time period feels like I'm losing out on the ability to,
because they're higher quality hours.
To do some sort of productive activity. I can't sit down, say, in the morning before work and start, I don't know, playing a video game. Why? Well, because work's going to start and cut me off, right? But once work's over, it's like, I can play video games.
I have this distinct memory in elementary school. I started playing Final Fantasy IV in the morning. Well, 2, I guess, on the SNES. Like, I just started playing it, like, while I was eating my breakfast as a kid. And I was too far away from a safe spot. And my parents were like, hey, it's time to go to school. And I was like, but I'm not near a safe spot. And the response was, too bad. And I had to fight a boss again when I got home.
Right.
Exactly. I learned a valuable lesson that day.
Right. But so
it was the fucking antlion in the beginning.
Right. So if I were gonna ride my bike indoors at night, I'd be cutting into time that could be used for things that could not. There are things that can't be done in the morning, but riding my bike is the thing that can be done in the morning because it's time boxed. It's like, I will ride it for this amount of time.
Yep. Yeah, well, similarly, I can get up and spend like 18 minutes running a light 5K on a treadmill. Then I'm done. 18 minutes, 20 minutes to including walking downstairs and upstairs. Nice workout. What else do I do in the morning? Now I'm just thinking about all my other biz. Like, I often do not walk into this room at any point in my morning, the computer room. Like, I use all the rooms we have because we don't have that many. Because the computer room is for VR experimentation, GeekNights recording, working from home, playing video games on the computer. So in the morning, I have no reason to come in here most of the time. I mean, I guess I have to walk through here to go to the bathroom where the shower is, and the bicycle's in here also. Well, we have even when our morning routines do sync up, the fact that we have 2 full bathrooms is luxurious because one bathroom is Emily's and one bathroom's mine. Like, because sometimes we're often showering at the same time. What else do I got going on? Getting near the end of this episode. It's not that much else going on because it's like after everything that we talked about happens, it's no longer the morning. It's now the day. Yep. Once you start doing your job or your school or you're unemployed or whatever it is that you do, I guess begun. The one thing, I don't know how you are, but I have always been this way, and I think it's to the annoyance of some other people we know. But for whatever reason, unless I choose not to, when my alarm goes off, I am the kind of person who can just instantly pop out of bed and immediately do all my stuff. Like, no lingering, no snooze. If I'm getting up at 6, bam, instantly out of bed, fully awake, feel great. I can if I need to, right? Yep. Like, especially if I have a thing to do, like go to the airport usually is the big one. But anything like that, it's like, yes, I can. Or if I really need to do my job, right? Yeah. For some reason that day there's a meeting or something. It's like, yeah, I can do that when I have to do that. But if I don't have to, why would I? It's like I'll just, I'll just stay in bed. But I guess until I'm a fan of, I do that even if I don't have to, because what I'm a fan of, as partly especially as I get older, I enjoy the leisurely morning, and the sooner I'm out of bed, the more time I have to leisurely engage with the morning, like step out and see the sun and sip my coffee, maybe make a second coffee. If I go to bed earlier, I do agree, right? There's a certain, daytime is just, it is what it is, right? It's daytime when activities are happening, right? But there's a liminal space of late night, and there is a different liminal flavor of the early morning. They have a flavor. They do have a flavor. Before shit is going on, right? And so I do enjoy that early morning flavor of, you're out and about and there's not too much going on. Like, all you see outside is like one garbage delivery and like, there's only like one car. Oh, like if I get up if I get up early on a weekend and like just walk out to go get bagels, one, there's no line for the bagels, like it's great, and two, it's just like it's such a different energy on like a Saturday morning in Queens at like 7:30 to be walking around just outside. Anywhere, just going to the beach. You get to the beach before everyone else gets there. The boardwalk's not open. That was what always messed me up. Like, even as a kid, like I remember we'd be at Cedar Point. If the gates open at 7, we are through those gates at 7. And I remember being shocked that other families, when we like went to Cedar Point together, would like fuck around in the hotel for like 3 hours and roll into the park at like noon. Like, why are you even here? Or they don't.
I don't know. Some of them, I'm sure they all have their reasons, but I think.
But it feels like it's most humans are like that.
Yeah, there is. Well, I think everyone has a different reason, but the only reason I think is not excusable, right? Because there are many reasons that people take a long time to get get up and get going, right? That are legitimate reasons, right? But the only one I think that is not excusable are the people who want to, right? But they're just a disorganized mess, right? And it's not due to some sort of, unavoidable mental illness or something that they're not good at organization because they can't be. It's like because some people are just a mess. They just don't have their shit together. Yeah. Right. It's like they're just running around.
It's just it always struck me in Wildwood, all those years hanging out in Wildwood, where we'd get to the beach like crack of dawn and enjoy our day, and we would be there would be people showing up to the beach as we were leaving because we'd been there like all day.
Yeah.
Like they're showing up when there's maybe another hour before the sand fleas come out.
Right. But like everything that I'm going to do, right, it's like, within, if we zoom in further, right, to any of the morning routine tasks, right, it's like each one is like laid out in a structure that can be executed efficiently, right? It's like I don't walk into the kitchen being like, oh no, and I make like a big disaster. It's like it's like, when I bust out the iPad to get all that information, it's a neatly organized row of apps that I go through one at a time in this particular order. You're not sitting there
like, what website should I look at?
Yeah, that's not happening. It's like there's a procedure, right? It's like when if I'm going to wake up and go to the beach, it's like it's a to-do list, even if it's not actually written down anywhere. It's like sunscreen, bathing suit, is the equipment we need. We need the towel. We need the Sun Ninja. We need this. We need that. We need the water bottles. Right? And then this is the path to get there. And then let's go.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if I'm getting ready to bike, you know what's sitting out in the living room? The panniers, the bike, the chamois, the chamois butter, like all the stuff is laid out.
Everything is the way is prepared, and it's like you just wake up and immediately start executing.
Yep.